Yay, we're back. We're back. Day number 2. So happy to have you back with me today. Welcome to day number 2 of the JumpStart Challenge. Today is the mental game and mindset day. And it's absolutely one of my favorite days because it gives us an opportunity, as Zig Ziglar was famous for saying, do a checkup from the neck up, right? And we very often need that. I know I, for one, very often need that, and it just gives me an opportunity to really make sure that my head is in the right place. So yesterday, for those who weren't able to join us, yesterday was Motion Day. Hopefully, if you haven't had a chance to go back and watch the material from yesterday, this week is in and of itself a momentum game changer. So every day, the content from every day has been mindfully placed to really get you in motion and keep you in motion. And so I highly recommend that you go back to yesterday if you haven't watched Motion Day, because you'll get a fundamental understanding of where we're going together. But I'm Teresa Bassett. I'm here as your guide for this Jumpstart Challenge. And I'm the CEO of the Diamond Group. We do help small businesses with their sales and marketing systems. But that's not really what we're here to talk about this week. I'm happy to help connect you to resources, but this is really more of an opportunity for me to give back, and maybe for you an opportunity to get to know me a little bit, for us to get to know each other. I had so many great people reach out to me last night. I was really steeped in gratitude because I was remembering my very first Jumpstart Challenge. I was able to connect with Nina in Paris. I know Nina had a little bit of a time change thing go on yesterday because Europe, always around this time of year, changes their time zones like we do. Not the zones themselves, but obviously daylight savings. And so I think, missed each other on the live. But I just want to say that, these opportunities for us to get to know each other are priceless. And Nina has become a dear friend, someone that I really count in my inner circle. So Nina, if you're out there, I'm so grateful that you're here with me again. And I think Nina's been here for every single Jumpstart Challenge since we've started, and has moved from Paris to, several different places in Europe, is now back home in Croatia, in the Split area. And I just feel really blessed to be on Nina's journey with her. When Nina started, she was actually dreaming of being in business for herself. Actually, didn't even know that dream was completely in her as an artist and a dancer. Yay, Nina! I'm glad you're here. And it was just so awesome to learn your story as we went along, but also to have you really connect with parts of my story. And I think that this getting to know you opportunity, we get to, yes, Budapest. I was searching for the name of the city that you moved to, but I've watched you not only move and reset your life several times throughout this journey together, but I've also watched you move from an employee to a self-employed business owner and really experience some different time freedom, and financial ceiling being lifted off of your life in a different way. And it's been super fun to watch. And it's just been a privilege to be on the journey with you, and continues to be. I was also remembering Chad Richmond, who, in our area is a custom home builder. And he and I were just sharing some co-working space in downtown Wilmington. And when I did my very first Jumpstart Challenge, we got to know each other through the Jumpstart. And I didn't even remember that until last night. And I was like, wow, I was sharing that with Kelly, my husband. Like, look how remarkable it is, these opportunities just to get to know each other. And oh, Chad, if that's you, I'm so glad that you're here. It just was an opportunity to get to know each other differently than we would have otherwise. We went on to form a coaching relationship, and then Chad is also using our team for help with the marketing services for his business. And again, it has just been such a privilege and a blessing in my life to get to know Chad. It has really fed my soul to watch his business grow and flourish and change so much over the course of just the last couple of years. So, change is possible, you guys. We may be stuck. We may have been stuck in a season that feels like it's never going to end. Trust me, I have had seasons that felt like they were never going to end. I have had seasons that lasted, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And it is truly the feeling of like that wilderness, wandering in the desert feeling of like, I seriously have stopped believing that there is an end to this wilderness, that there is an end to this desert. I don't actually believe anymore that it's going to be any different. But I'm here to tell you that even in those seasons, if you don't have the belief, borrow from my belief and my experience that yes, those seasons too can end. There is an end in store, and some of it is you taking responsibility for where you want to be, right? Where you want to go. And so I hope you had an opportunity to jump into last night's homework, get into motion. That was number one, 20 to 30 minutes of vigorous activity and exercise in your body, right? It's so very important to get out of the headspace, right? And reconnect with this powerful vehicle that you are placed in. This body is the only body you're ever going to get, right? I mean, this is the vehicle that's going to take you through the rest of your life. And I just really implore you to be a good steward of the energy that you have. You know that our hearts have the power. I mean, you've heard stories of, mothers who have literally lifted cars off of their children. This heart center, the power of your actual physical heart is so incredibly important. And when you love something and when you care about something, power can just soar through your entire body, and you can do things you never imagined possible. That's the kind of power that you want to have available to you. And some of that requires you to nurture and care, take impeccable care of this body. It is so important, because through this body, you have the ability to do all the other things that you want in your life. Have amazing relationships, right? Have finances that give you freedom to make options and choices, right? Have the ability to connect with other people, to travel, to see, to, be and do and have amazing things, right? But without your health, without that energy in your body, it is almost impossible to experience enjoyment of any of those things, right? You could have a pocket full of cash, a bank account full of money, you have amazing people around you. But if you don't have health, you don't get to experience, you don't really get to embrace all of that opportunity. So, first and foremost, we have to start and end with motion. We have to start with caring for this physical body that we've been gifted, and it is such a blessing. And when I look back over my life, of course, I have two amazing children that I've had the privilege of nurturing and giving birth to. And I look back at that and I'm like, wow, I can't believe, I mean, it's just such a miracle what our bodies are able to do. I've been able to run marathons I never thought I could run. I've been able to have incredible endurance in my body through many, many seasons of life, emotional, mental, and physical. And I really, I have a family that cherishes health. I have a family that looks outside of the box, is always trying to learn. And I'm so very grateful for the resources and just understanding that good nutrition, sleep, rest, hydration, stay hydrated, you guys. When you move that 20 to 30 minutes, make sure you're getting a source of really good, pure, clean water to nourish your body with. That hydration is so important. Our brains are actually over 80% water. And when we get in a dehydrated state, some of that hangry feeling that you might feel when you go too long without boosting your blood sugar is actually also corresponding dehydration. Hydrating your brain and your body is so important. You are actually not going to get high quality thought or action out of your body if you aren't hydrated. So I firmly encourage you in the course of getting in motion and staying in motion physically, make sure you're getting the best source of water that you can, and make sure you stay very hydrated. It is just going to help with your quality of thought. It's going to help with your mood. It's going to help with your physical performance, all of it. All of it. So today we are back to homework. Second piece of the homework was to dive into the workbook and look at the clarity tools that were in there, right? And some of that, started with where are we? Where are we? Right? Brutal truth. Where are we physically? Where are we financially? Where are we in terms of relationships? Are we where we want to be? I think that is a quality question, right? And if the quality of our life is determined by the quality of our questions, we have to start with some quality questions. Otherwise, we're going to get some pretty punky answers. That learning that from a coach long ago, that one thing, learning to question the questions that I'm asking, has literally changed everything for me. So, one of the questions that we need to start with is, where are we today and where do we want to be? Right? Where do we want these things to be? And use really, truth and love, like brutal honesty. Sometimes we don't want to face it. Sometimes we don't want to look at it. I have to say, I did not see anybody post their homework or report back in the groups. That is fine. But I do have a couple prizes for folks that do that work and do post. And as much as I love to give prizes away, these particular two prizes I was going to give away today. We've got some Nike gift cards. Their slogan, "Just do it," is very important, right? We have to just get started. I am still going to give these gift cards away, and I'm happy to do it. I will make that good all throughout the rest of the day. If you go and post your homework, you've gotten in motion, and you've done the clarity tool exercises, I would love to hear about that. And I think that you doing that will also give the group encouragement and permission to do those very same things. So if you've done it, but you haven't reported on it, please just raise your hand and let us know that you've done that. And you can also raise your hand in the chat and let me know that. But I'm also going to say, hey, and you got to go back and tell the group about it, because it isn't just important. We're not here for me. I'm here for you. Right. And so, as a community of momentum warriors, we want to make sure that we're encouraging everyone that we touch. And that means that our story and our journey is important to them too. Just like I was talking about Nina and Chad sharing their journeys with me all of these years, these last couple of years since the JumpStart Challenge really started, has been such a gift to me. You guys can also be a huge gift and a blessing to each other. And I just really want to encourage you to take the time, step out of your comfort zone. I know that the camera isn't everybody's, ball of wax. I get it 100%. Anybody who knows me knows, this has been a journey for me too. And and I grew up, well, and I'm still to this day, I don't like to watch my own videos. I don't like to hear my own voice. But I've really felt God led to share some of what I've had the privilege of learning all these years as an opportunity to give back. And so that has pushed me over and over and over out of my comfort zone, in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, or on a stage to share, and maybe give back in some small way. So at the end of this week together, my goal is that you have traction you didn't have at the beginning of the week, that you have started that wave of momentum, and it can carry you through the entire 90-day sprint that we're here to experience together, right? That is what's important to me. And if those are personal goals and targets, if those are professional goals and targets, or if they're a combination of both, that is great. It is totally personal and it is totally about you. So these are opportunities, these tools are being placed in your path. I don't believe it's an accident that you're here. If you're here, um, I don't believe it's an accident that our paths have crossed. And so I think that there's an opportunity in front of you to dig deep, right? Try something different and see if you get a different result. I mean, I'm all about continuing to learn, continuing to be a work in progress. And I think that this is an opportunity for us to do that together. So I highly encourage you to do the homework if you haven't. Step out of your comfort zone and let somebody know that you did the homework. And maybe, just maybe, you'll have a Just Do It prize awarded to you too. So the first two people that do that and jump out with some courage and some chutzpah are going to be rewarded for that fast action, because I think action should be rewarded. And the reality of it is that action always is rewarded, sometimes not just in the form of gift cards, but insights, opportunities, people, resources, all kinds of things come into your path when you get in action. And one of the things that I have noticed in our age of screen viewing, love Zoom, love social media as a tool, love, all of the access it's given us to so much learning. But one of the things that I do think that it has encouraged us to do sometimes is sit behind the camera on the other side of the screen and watch other people experiencing life or doing the things that we aspire to do. Watch other people, skydive, bungee jump, travel to the far ends of the earth, step out of their comfort zones and try things. And it's nice and safe to watch that from where we're at. Of course, we're not risking much at all, right? By doing that. But life happens on the other side, filmed or not filmed. Life happens when you jump in and you get messy and you get active and you start engaging with it and you stop worrying about what other people are doing, right? When you start just really owning your place, your purpose, your goals and targets. And I think that this Jumpstart Challenge could be an opportunity to encourage you at the end of this week to and even disengage from watching other people's content. I mean, I think it's great that you're here and I want you to be here 100%. But I also want you to jump out at a certain point at the end of this week. And I want you to get fully engaged in your own life, right? In your own journey and your own process. And that motion day yesterday was just the beginning. Today is really all about the mental game and mindset. So, and again, it's building on itself. So clarity around where you want to be, where you've been, is super important. But let's get into our heads for a minute and do that checkup for the neck up, because we can want all the things, right? We can want to be, do, and have, fill in the blank, right? All of these things, but believing that we can do it, believing that we can have it, believing that we can be it, that's something totally different, right? That belief level has to really start inside of us. And then it gets translated through our thoughts, which then turn into actions. So beliefs, those core beliefs really lead to those thoughts really lead to those actions. So let's peel it backwards for a minute around clarity. If you identified something in that clarity exercise that you want to be, do, and have, if you peel it backwards to the belief and to the thoughts, are you thinking the thoughts? Let's go back one step. Are you thinking the thoughts that are going to lead you to acquiring or being or having those things? Are you thinking those thoughts? Are those your natural thoughts or your default thoughts? Do you have some stinking thinking in there, right? Again, to quote Zig Ziglar, I didn't come up with that, right? Because sometimes what we recognize is we're out of alignment with our thoughts are really not in alignment with the things we ultimately want. Our thoughts might be, well, I can't do that because fill in the blank. Well, I can't have that because fill in the blank. I didn't come from a family that encouraged me to do that. I don't live in the place that I can do that. I don't have the resources yet to do that. A lot of times, what we recognize when we go back one step from the desire is that our thoughts are really not in alignment with what we ultimately want. And this is a problem, right? Because our thoughts, so an average person has about 85,000 plus thoughts or feelings a day. And if you watch your thoughts, a lot of them are repetitive. um Years ago I had a coach teach me, that my thoughts and my feelings were not me. They're in me, they're of me, but they're not my core essence, right? And so essentially, if I'm in a river, and I'm standing in the middle of the river, I'm just surrounded with thoughts and feelings, right? It can feel very much like I am this rushing river of thoughts and feelings. And I'm almost so carried away with it that I allow myself to just be carried down the river. And whatever thoughts and feelings are going through my mind or my body at the time are literally dominating my perspective. Like my whole world is just those thoughts and feelings. But guess what? At any point, I can get out of the water. I can recognize that I am not the water. I can climb up to the bank. I can sit on the bank and I can watch the thoughts and the feelings. I can detach myself from the water because I am not the water, and I can detach myself from that water. I can climb up on the bank and I can observe myself thinking and feeling those things. And then literally, if I do that, I can watch the thought go by. Like, oh, I'm not enough and I can't have that. Oh, like I don't feel good. Whatever that is, like whatever that thought or feeling is, I can literally just watch it go by. And then, as soon as that one passes by, a new one will crop up. And so most of the time, I think we're in it. We don't realize that it is not us. I mean, we're just so covered up with it that we think that that has to be the dominating, flavor of the day. It doesn't. We get to choose it. We can actually detach ourselves and observe it, and then we can choose a new, better thought. We can choose a new, better feeling. In fact, that power of choice, that's one of the main mindset things I really want to, have you guys understand. These things that you want to be, do, and have, that is a choice. That is a choice. And you need to make sure that your thoughts are in alignment with that choice, and then also peel back all the way to the belief level. Do you have the core beliefs? Do you believe that you can have and be and do those things? Do you believe it's possible for you? Right. One of the things that I recognized is, and I think I wrote about this in an email that went out even earlier this morning, that over the years, I may be working on some of the same core habits, but I literally over the years have raised the floor. And by raising the floor, I've really raised the ceiling. And then it dawns on me, wait a minute, maybe there is no ceiling. Like if I never thought I could even run to the corner and used to avoid running around the gym, you know, at all costs to the point of lying, to get out of gym class. But now all of a sudden I can run a half marathon, and wait a minute, if I could run a half, then maybe I could run a full. And then all of a sudden I'm running a full marathon. Well, if I can run a marathon, guys, seriously, if I can run a marathon, you can freaking do anything that you want. But you have to choose it. And you have to have the right thoughts that are in alignment with those choices. And then you have to have the right beliefs to back that up. And what I've recognized is that along the lines, I'll just use athletics because that's a great example. In my head, I mean, my brother was always the athletic one. He was playing baseball, he was playing soccer, he was caddy, and he was out on the golf course. And he still to this day is very, very active. But I was the bookworm, right? I didn't think I had a physical bone in my body, honestly. And it wasn't until I was in college that I realized I was actually quite, active. I really liked exercising, and I started swimming and I started doing aerobics and all of these things. But even years into the running, I would say, I'm not really a runner, right? Inside, I believed that I wasn't the athletic one, that I, as a corresponding belief, that I wasn't athletic. But the reality of it is that I am athletic. I just needed to believe that that belonged to me, that that was part of my identity, that I could be athletic, right? And then once I embraced that, then whoa, okay, well, if I am athletic, then what else could I do that's athletic, right? But that was literally like an identity shift for me that was rooted in belief. I didn't believe that I was the athletic one and therefore couldn't do very athletic things. That belief was stinking thinking. It was false. It was an illusion, right? That I just had to choose something different. So peeling that all the way back is not an easy thing to do. The next exercise is in your workbook, and I know several people had trouble accessing this. I think we reposted, we resent it out in email, and everyone so far that I know confirmed that they were able to get it. If you're still having trouble, please raise your hand, and my team will definitely be happy to help. Um, but the next set of exercises in this workbook are very important tonight because it comes back to this story that we're telling ourselves. And that story is driving, it's rooted in belief, and it's driving those thoughts. And those thoughts are driving our ability to be, do, and have the things that we really want. So this is an opportunity to do that checkup from the neck up and even go within to ask ourselves about some of these core belief pieces that might be standing in our way. Where do we need to ask a different set of questions? Where do we need to challenge ourselves to think beyond what we've already experienced, what we've already done, what we already have, right? And I think that that is a pretty powerful opportunity, not for the faint of heart, right? If you want to really experience the most powerful momentum wave you've ever experienced, doing this mindset piece is going to just absolutely change the game. Because here's the thing, guys, you're going to see evidence for the things supporting the beliefs that you already have. If you believe that everyone's out to get you, and people are inherently not kind, then everywhere you go, then you're going to run into unkindness. You're going to find the evidence to support the belief that you already have. If my core belief is that people are generally good and things are working on my behalf, right? Giving me opportunities, maybe it's an opportunity for emotional management. Those are okay too, right? But that's a completely different belief, right? And so I'm going to find different supporting evidence. You really have to think about what do you believe and what evidence are you looking for to support that, right? That's the mindset piece that we're talking about. Where do you have some kinks in the garden hose energetically that maybe are not working, where your energy is literally crimped off at the source, right? It doesn't matter if you push more water through the hose. If that hose is kinked, that energy ain't moving, right? Super important to look at where these little crimps might be in your in the energy in you, right? Super, super powerful. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do along with this homework is I guess start from the most resourceful, powerful place that you can personally when you begin the exercise, right? So before you even start, I want you guys to write this down. Gratitude is the bridge, Write that down. Gratitude is the bridge. Because as I was reflecting on previous Jumpstart challenges and just, thinking about you, Nina, thinking about Chad, you know, um, I was reminded that gratitude really is the bridge to everything good. It really is the bridge to the most resourceful state that you can be in. And you want to make decisions, you want to examine um, your targets from the most resourceful state you can be in. That's one of the reasons that we get in motion, right? Because you get a boost of dopamine and serotonin and happy hormones that really propel you forward. You're going to want to do that 20 to 30 minutes again today, right? I was out this morning. I know I posted, I was out, I was biking, I was power walking, and I'm going to do some more activity this evening because it's super important in this sprint to stay in motion. It's not just good for your body, it's good for your mind, right? And this mindset piece, this mental game piece is absolutely critical in every single thing that you tackle because you're going to find the evidence to support the things that you're already believing. So, we're going to want to look at our story. We're going to want to look at what is the story that I'm telling myself? And is it the most powerful story? Or do I need to change the story? Do I need to change the story to really be and do and have the things that I really want to have? I think that, God is so good. He gives us an opportunity to make a new choice around all of everything in our life every single day. It's a fresh start. This Jumpstart Challenge, this is a fresh start for you if you choose to embrace it, right? That's up to you. I can't help you. I can't, make you drink. I can show you the water, right? um and that's what I'm here to do because I think that one of the most powerful things we have available to us is the power of that reset button. We can recreate our lives. We can recreate our story each and every day that opportunity is available to us. In fact, every hour that choice is available to us. In fact, every conversation that choice is available to us. And as daunting a responsibility that is, it is also an immense privilege, right? To whom much is given, much is expected, right? We have an opportunity. This is it. This is the one body. This is the one day that we're guaranteed. And it behooves us to really be a good steward of what is right now. And so let's make sure that the story that we're telling ourselves around what is possible, who we are, is the most empowering, powerful, resourceful story that we could tell. This homework tonight is going to give you an opportunity to re-examine that, right? And maybe, and this is why the Jumpstart is so good over and over and over. It doesn't matter if you did it 2 years ago. It doesn't matter if you did it a year ago. It doesn't even matter if you did it 6 months ago because you're constantly evolving and changing, right? Have you ever been to a training, maybe, or read a book for the second time, but you picked up something different the next time? Why did you pick up something different? Wasn't it the same material? Yeah, it's absolutely the same material, but guess what's different? You're different because maybe you're sitting in the training room for the second time around or watching that movie for the second time around, reading that book for the second time around, but you are not the same person today as you were when you ran into it the first time. Something has shifted in you. You've had different experiences. You've learned different things. You may be even eating a different breakfast, right? It all matters. And so the changes, the evolution that you're in as a human, that progress changes the way you see things and hear things. And so you're going to pick up different things. So we have this opportunity available to us over and over and over. We just have to pick up the mantle of self-leadership and choose to embrace it. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do because this could be your most powerful spring yet. What's in it for me? Just the satisfaction of knowing that I gave back. Honestly, I have honestly just I've been the beneficiary of so many amazing people pouring their words, pouring their inspiration, their guidance, their life experiences into me. I am constantly reading. I am constantly exposing myself to really powerful people with really powerful messages. And I have to say that it changes me. Every single time it changes me because I pick up something, a little breadcrumb on the trail that that has literally, influenced and impacted the very way that I think or I see things. And so I just feel really inspired to give back in that way. And another thing I've noticed is that everybody's voice is a little bit different. So you might listen to my voice, well, and maybe I can't stand hearing my own voice. You might listen to my voice and the words that I'm imparting to you, and maybe that just really resonates with you. Or maybe you listen to me and you're like, yeah, like I'm just not on this, I'm just not picking this up. That's okay. Because, for me, I've got different mentors and trainers. I absolutely love Tony Robbins, for example. He just really speaks to my heart. He's got this gruffness and he's got these tools. I don't know. There's just something about the way he delivers information that my heart is just very receptive to hearing. And so I've just learned so much, so much from him. But there's other folks who are saying very wise words, but for whatever reason, I am not receiving it from them. And so maybe energetically, I'm just in a little different place, or maybe the words they're using just aren't resonating with me. And so I've recognized finally that my voice has value too. And that's been quite a journey for me, but I believe that I can do it. And so I keep putting myself in the situation to try to do it, right? And not just try, but do it, because I know that maybe there's some people out there that are going to take this opportunity for a reset. And they're going to take it differently because they hear it from me. So I don't know if that's you. I just want it for you. Whatever voice you need to hear it from, whatever tools that are out there that resonate with you, I just really want you to own the opportunity to embrace the very power that you have over decision and choice in your life. So so important. I can't stress that enough. So it's okay if this jumpstart isn't the one that changes your life. Maybe it's going to be the next jumpstart in the fall. Maybe it's going to be the one after that. I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that this opportunity is available to you right now. And if you choose to embrace it, that in 90 days that you could be having, doing, or being something different than you are today, maybe it will fundamentally change you in some way that creates a positive, ripple effect. So time just always goes so fast. I had to keep track of the time here for a minute. So I do want you to jump into the workbook. I do want you to look at the story exercises, pages 7 through 10, and actually just a note to my team, we do need to number the pages on this workbook. I realize that I don't have page numbers, but we can get page numbers put in there. But the story tools in here are so important. And I've got new prizes for anyone that chooses to share that homework. So there are some fast action bonuses, if you will, available for those who tell us about their story, right? I would love to hear, what was the old story that was maybe holding you back? Maybe the things you thought defined you. What happened in the past does not need to define you. It can be a mess, but it doesn't have to become your current message, right? We get an opportunity to choose that message, to choose what defines us, and we can start over. We can push the reset button. And this is your chance to do that. Gratitude is the bridge to everything good. So back to that, before you even start the story, I just want you to take a minute to think about what you're truly grateful for from your past. The people, the circumstances, the places that you've been, the things that you've picked up on that breadcrumb trail that's led you here. Everything that you've been through, everything that was placed in your life, all the choices that you've made that have accumulated that have led you here, have all perfectly led you here. And it doesn't mean you have to recreate those things or keep experiencing those things again, back to that power of choice. But it does mean that there's many, many, many things to be grateful for. And so often we fall out of our true power, our power of choice, because we start to feel like we're the victim of those circumstances. We are not the victim of our circumstances. We get to choose what we carry forward. We get to choose what it means to us. And so the circumstances that we're born into, the people that we belong to, we get to choose what that means to us and what we decide to carry forward. And if there are toxic relationships or people or patterns or things in our past that have previously defined us or controlled us or had a strong influence or impact on us, we can be grateful for those things too, because they've all led us perfectly here. But then let's decide what we want to carry forward. Let's decide what it means to us. And maybe those things just mean that those were opportunities to get wiser and stronger. I've had some really difficult things that I've run into in my life. I've been divorced twice. It was devastating to me. In my first, I didn't get married to get divorced. Nobody does, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Um, that really caused me to I was deeply wounded. It was truly like one of the most hurtful things to me. One, because I didn't think I was ever going to be that person that got divorced. And so it wasn't reconcile I couldn't reconcile it with my identity. Who am I? What am I about? And then I was so blessed to meet Kelly, um, you know, in my early 40s. I think I was 40. And just met the love of my life, who became my best friend, my business partner. I mean, I'm just so incredibly blessed and grateful for Kelly in my life. I can't even tell you. I never saw that coming. Right. But if I had decided that, well, I'm a person that can't be married, I let that be my story. Well, I'm a person that isn't lovable enough. I'm a person that, just gets divorced, then I would never have been able to open myself up to the love of my life. And so, on some level, I think I'm such a lover. I don't even know that I consciously chose that, but um, I had to choose not to let that past define me. I had to choose that even though I had been hurt before, even if I had been betrayed before, even if I had been, had my feelings, my heart just smashed up into a million bits, that I wasn't going to let that define me, and that I was going to allow myself to move forward. So, you get an opportunity likewise to decide what in your past defines you in that old story, and what part of it becomes your new story. Do you just leave a bunch of it in the past? Maybe. Maybe, and that's okay. Or do you compartmentalize it in some way so that you give it some meaning and you go, okay, I made some mistakes over here. I made some poor choices. I've heard some people say that about marriage. Well, I was just a bad picker. Well, yeah, sometimes that's the case, right? We don't know what we don't know. We can decide what it means to us, but it doesn't have to mean the same thing to us today. I learned from that. I made some mistakes. I paid some dumb tax. But now, because I'm a work in progress, I'm working to do it better. I'm working to move forward. And these are the things that I really want to embrace. So, in this sprint, we are looking for clarity around the things we really want, because we're looking for those 3 targets that we can truly connect with on a heart level, that are going to compel us over the brick walls, the wall kicking moments, the speed bumps that we're going to persevere with for 90 days. And that's a physical target, a financial target, and an other, right? And the reason that I think it's important to just keep it to 3, you can go back and watch the material yesterday, is we only have the ability to focus on so many things simultaneously. But one of the focus pieces that's involved with that is just getting this energetic garden hose kink out of the way. Like, if I can't focus on charging forward, if I'm held back, back here, and something's just really getting in my way, that may tether me, that may literally anchor me in the past. I have to choose to let that go so that I can really charge forward. And if I want to jumpstart forward, I know that I have to continuously redefine who I am, what I believe, what the thoughts are that go along with that, the mindset that I choose to adopt, and allow myself to receive moving forward. Right. And so there's a lot of pieces of that. This story exercise will really help with that. And connecting with gratitude, having a remarkable, profound sense of gratitude for what led us here is a piece of that. The other gratitude piece is being remarkably grateful to have an opportunity just to even sit here and think about this, to be able to recognize that we have choices and that we have this opportunity and that we have this gift of life and we get to decide where we want to go with it. That's a remarkable gift, you guys. We live in a place that allows us so many choices. And while that is simultaneously daunting and overwhelming, you can be anything you want to be. Well, great, except that means that there's 47,000 decisions to make. And that can be overwhelming. But you guys, there are places in this world, there are circumstances in this world where people don't have all of those choices and options. And so I think we are remarkably blessed to be together and to be on this journey together. And I think that in and of itself is a bridge of gratitude that will help us cross over to a more resourceful state. That more resourceful state will equal a more powerful new you story. So I want to hear about the new you stories. I want to hear about what you're deciding the past needs to mean for you. And please feel free to share with us in the group chat as well, not just to go for the prizes. Yes, absolutely. There's some great prizes tomorrow too. I'm going to keep those a secret, but I think that it is important to, feed your mind the right mindset tools, the right belief sets, so that you really can make the best choice moving forward. So sure, we can keep recreating the same results, or we can jumpstart and do something different, right? And that's what we're here to do. The other thing that I want to mention, and I brought up a couple books yesterday, is I highly encourage you guys. I mean, multiple studies have shown that the more a person reads, the higher their income level goes. I think that corresponds to just everything in your life. Please be aware of what you're putting in your brain. Your brain, your thought life is such an empowering tool if you use it for good, but you can also fill it with a bunch of filler fluff and garbage. And you need to protect this real estate because this is the engine that fuels everything that you're doing out there. So don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted, right? And you can opt out of those things that are maybe not leading to the best thoughts. You can opt out of those things that are just filler and fluff. And you can fill your brain with better thoughts. And you can keep learning, right? You can keep stretching and growing. I still to this day, I probably have 6 or 7 books going simultaneously. I'm constantly reading, 2, 10, 12 pages a day, listening to audio, watching trainings, and all of those things go in there and they matter. So one of the resources, when we talk about things that feed your brain and that lead to positive places. I refer to that in my first book, The Rebounding Revolution, as the upcycle, right? What are the things that are leading to the better feelings, the better thinking thoughts, right? To the better actions that feed this upcycle, this momentum that you want to feed? And what are the things that are leading to the down cycle, right? Not as good feelings, not as good thoughts, and not as good actions as a result, right? Let's feed the upcycle. Let's feed the upcycle. If someone actually right now in the chat would like to hop in, if anybody wants a copy of my book, I'm happy to gift that to you, The Rebounding Revolution. But the upcycle and the down cycle are real things. You're feeding one of the two cycles all the time. So, are you choosing to adopt the things that are leading you forward, or are you choosing to participate in the things that are holding you back? Status quo is an illusion. The world is a moving without you. So, what are you feeding? Are you feeding the upcycle? Are you feeding the down cycle? Be aware that that is a choice too, and that you have an opportunity to make a better choice. If you're participating in things that maybe aren't building you up, maybe aren't making it more possible to have and be and do the things that you want to do, then this is an opportunity to examine those things and choose something different, right? Just as easy as that. So we are out of time for today. We've covered so much, and I'm so grateful that you're here today. And on this Tuesday, you have a distinct opportunity to look at your story. Let's write a new story. Let's write a better story. And all of the things that we've been through in our lives, let's be grateful for those things and the opportunity that we have to move forward. And I will say, my company is called the Diamond Group because it's a story of resilience, right? Diamonds are created under pressure, you guys. No pressure, no diamonds. Right. And I deeply resonate with that because I've had relationship challenges, I've had financial challenges, I've had health challenges, devastating challenges. I've had long wildernesses where I thought that this season was never going to end, right? And these pressures have made me stronger. And so even when I look back at those things, some of my most intense pressures and challenges are also my greatest gifts. They're my greatest blessings and the things that I choose to be the most grateful for because they have literally shaped and molded me into the person that I am today. Yes, I'm still a work in progress. I'm right here with you. I'm jump starting. I'm sprinting, just like you. The work is never over. The work will be over basically when I'm 6 foot under, right? When it's all quiet on the front. So this is an opportunity for me to sprint and to jumpstart as well. And I'm going to do that with you, right? And I want to be transparent about my journey too, because we're all works in progress. There is no end to this journey. It's just to what degree do we take responsibility for the choices that we're making and the results that we're getting, right? The results that we're getting today, the results that we're going to get in 90 days. 90 days from now it can be default. We'll just keep getting what we've always gotten. Or we could jumpstart and make a different choice and maybe experience something completely different and utterly fabulous. And that's really what I want to do. So I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for joining me for day 2, Mindset Day. There's miles to go before we sleep. Tomorrow is Mojo Day. Do not miss it. We will talk about the things that really feed that good feeling space, that flow state that we talked about yesterday, wanting to get into. And I would love to hear some stories about how this week is progressing for you. So be blessed. Have an awesome day out there. And let's jumpstart our way to success each and every day. Bye.